For the call. All right, my friends. So this is call three of the three laws of performance. Hey, we made it this far. All right. So what we're going to be talking about today, this is relevant to the book Three Laws of Performance. If you haven't read it yet, it's by Stephen Zaffron, I believe is his first and last name. And it's a book on performance, elevating human performance via ontology, right? It's ontological methods, methodology we're using in this book. It's the same one I'm backgrounded in essentially. So the first law, right? I'm paraphrasing it. It says, how you perform in life. I'm adding the words in life in there. How you perform correlates to how the situation occurs for you, right? So in the first couple of calls, we went over how if the situation occurs for you or anyone else, like disempowering or painful, they're probably not going to do it, right? So if you alter the occurring, you alter the actions they take. Because if you can go from pain to pleasure, maybe in a sales call, they'll say yes instead of no, right? And we go over that a lot in the first two calls. So this one, I want to focus on law two, right? This is now like another level of this. So we now know that how we perform, how we react, how we move, what actions we take in life, right? Whether it's, let's say in sales, like say yes to move forward the sale with a closer or not, is all dependent on how the sale, how the conversation, how the opportunity occurs for the client or whoever, right? And your job is to really know that, transform it, create an inspired one, right? And that's how you do it. And I go over that a lot in call two. So here we're looking at law two. So how a situation occurs arises in language. Okay, so in law one again, right? It's how you perform is correlated to how the situation occurs to you. So now we're looking at the second part of that deeper, right? How a situation occurs to you arises in language. Okay, so let's break this down. I'll break it down a little bit more, and then we'll do a lot more sharing this time. Okay, so what it's referring to is the occurring that people have, right? They see what they see, they know what they know, it is the way it is for them, and they describe it, they talk about it, they whatever, via language, right? So here's an example to make this real. So if you're talking to someone, right, and you're saying, hey, Joe, or I'll use Shirley again. Hello, Shirley. So, hey, Shirley, like, how is your job right now that has you looking to work into the high ticket arena, right? What I'm asking is, how is your job currently occurring to you? And what I'm listening for now is the language she's going to say to get the answer. Because, right, how it occurs for you arises in language. So then she may say things like, well, it's like, it sucks. It's hard. My boss micromanages me. The pay sucks, right? Whatever they say, if you actually listen to the words they say, like it sucks, micromanaging. Okay, so you got to listen really well and intentionally here. You'll hear how it occurs for them based from their language, the words they use. So what I'm listening right in my calls, that's what I'm listening for, is the occurring, which is a linguistic thing, right? I'm listening for the words. Okay, micromanage, right? Hates their job, low pay. Okay, that right there will tell me everything about how the situation, which is their job in this case, let's say, occurs for them by what they say, right? It's challenging, it's hard, it's stressful, whatever. So you want to get is that whatever they say in this interaction, using sales as an example, right? That's how it is for them, period. They could tell you that you, as the setter or closer, occurs for them like it's a manipulation or you're a car salesman, right? And what's so important here is you don't want to argue with them ever, okay? Because they may say something that's not true for you because your occurring is different than theirs. So you just want to be responsible for them, like, right? You're listening for their occurring, right? Not to validate or invalidate. You're just listening for it because by knowing what it is, you can now interact with it and do something with it, like maybe transform it, right? But you can't transform it or be with it if you're arguing with it or you're justifying or defending your point of view about it for your occurring, right? So if you listen to the first two tapes, what I'm saying is very confusing to you. Okay, so start at one, then two, then three. Okay, this is number three. So what I'm saying is, if someone says, "Hey, Shirley, it sounds like you're trying to sell me into this thing," you got to consider and be responsible for, wow, whatever now I've said in language now occurs for that person, like I'm selling them, I'm a car salesman, whatever, and be responsible for it. Okay, don't argue it. Don't be like, no, you're wrong, or no, I'm not doing that. That's arguing. That gets you nowhere. Okay. Remember, people want to be heard in life. That's their point of view, right? That's their occurrence. So get it. But like, wow, I'm totally sorry that it has occurred for you. Like, this is a sales manipulation call. That was not at all my intention. I am so sorry for that. Like, can I restart over? Or, something, right? By acknowledging it, you're now validating what they said. They get that they were heard, and now you can do something about it. You could be responsible for it. Oh, I'm so sorry it happened. Could we start over? Or could I try, can I rephrase what I said? I understand it landed the wrong way. I apologize for that. Like, be responsible for it, right? And then create something new. Like, you know what? Like, wow, can you tell me why it sounded like that? Like, what did I say? I'm just really curious because I'm so sorry. That wasn't my intention. Yeah, you said blah, 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 blah. Okay, wow, got it. Sorry about that. That'll never happen again. Right. And that's how you could actually train develop yourself. This is what I do, right? On calls with even clients, like have them tell you what you said in language, had the situation occur for them X way that doesn't work. So, and if you do this nonstop in your sales career or whatever, because remember, this stuff applies to life in general, you'll always know what's going on. You'll know what the occurring is. If you can't figure it out, you could ask them, they'll tell you, right? And you'll then be empowered to do something about it. And that's it. So once again, right? So this is kind of like in the sales context. Okay. Now let's make this a little more real to personal life. Like, let's say in life, right? I don't know, let's say you're joining like Jeremy Reiner's, right? Sales training program. And in that program, right, you're doing it. You're doing the videos, the coursework, whatever. And I'm Jeremy and I check in with you and I'm like, hey, Shirley, how is it going for you? And you're like, oh my God, it's so challenging. It's so hard. It's complicated. I can't get it, right? If I now go to you and I say, hey, Shirley, let's look at this from a performance conversation point of view. Can you point in reality, like right now in your room, wherever you are on this call, can you point to where complicated is, like where that exists? Like a wall is right here, I'm knocking on it. Can you show me where hard is in real life? And you can't because it's not real. Words like hard, complicated, easy even, right? Simple, I don't know, confusing, whatever. These are all words that were literally invented by human beings, right? They don't live in reality. They don't live in the world like a car does, right? A car is real. You can touch it, you can hit it, you can feel it, you can see it, it's real. These are conceptual based words created in language. And the reason why I bring this up is that we as human beings, this is kind of insane to think about why we've done this, we give significance to these words and give them power in the real world where they don't belong because they're not real. And we give them power like, yeah, this is really hard. Jesus. When you're saying something is really hard, right? That's how it occurs to you now, rising in language, law number 2. How do you think life is for you? Are you happy? Are you excited? Are you making progress? And let's say in Jeremy Reiner's sales, no, right? You're having a hard time. You're confused. You're lost. You're not getting it. And the way that you linguistically say that is it's hard. It's confusing. It's whatever. But just get that all it is right now for you is an occurring. And you're describing it in language. And that's what gives you your experience. Okay, so why is this relevant or important, right? I don't know. Let me give you an example, right? To really illustrate this like really strongly. Because right, real life examples are really easy to follow. So about like 3 years ago, yeah, 4 years ago, right? 3 years ago, I started working in the debt consolidation industry. And when I first started, I was brand new to sales, right? And I wanted to take a hit at it to see how I did, right? So in the beginning, you can imagine I know anything I was doing, right? I had a background, in training development, and I could figure things out. But still, I'm brand new, right? So I had to learn the lingo, right? Learn the system, learn the way they did it. And you got to understand, like, it wasn't easy, right? For the first month, I would go into work every day. I'd sit at my desk and have to do 200 plus dial out calls. Like, it sucked, I was like, it was like essentially, I felt like I was cold calling people to see if they wanted debt. Now, these were warm leads, so they were expecting calls, but you got to get like 5, 10, 20 calls in a row. No one answers. How do you feel about yourself, right? Like, I'm a failure, right? I suck at my job. Man, this sucks, right? This happened day in, day out. And they're like, don't worry, man, keep doing it. You'll figure it out. You'll get your first close. You'll be fine, right? It took me like a week or two, I don't even know how long, before I closed my first deal. And every morning during that first 2 weeks, when I woke up and I had to think about going to work, what do you think my experience of life was and work was? And this is where I'll let you guys to share. So anyone here, what do you think my experience was waking up every morning, knowing I'm going to a job that I am not good at, I'm not successful at, I'm frustrated, it's annoying, it's aggravating. Like, do you think I was happy to go to work every day, sad to go to work every day? What do y'all think? You could all unmute yourselves, by the way. This is where I play the Jeopardy music, by the way.
No, I'm very unhappy.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, totally right, Chris. Very unhappy. I mean, I used to like wake up in the middle of the night. Seriously, like anxiety, like crap, this is my life. This is my job. Like, I have responsibilities now, like I'm dating a person, like this is not good, right? Every day. And then what happened was there was literally a moment in time because I've read this book before and I've already in this work of ontology. And I literally said to myself, I'm like, you know what is my occurring right now at this job? Like I literally had like a come to Jesus moment. And I was just like, wow, my occurring is like, I hate this job. I suck at it. It's horrible. I'm never going to be great at it. Right. And you can imagine that was my experience because I kept saying that it was right linguistically in language. And one day, literally, I was like, you know what? I'm done with this crap. Okay. I'm good. And remember, I'm making this up. Okay. There's no reality proof about what I'm about to say to you all. Right. I was like, what if I'm gonna now change my occurring of this job as like a training development opportunity, right? Something I could explore, something I can really get good at, something that's gonna be challenging, something that could even be fun and see what shows up. So literally the next day I created that. I just spoke it out loud. I'm like, all right, from now on, this is how it's gonna occur to me this job. Let's go. I got in the office and I was like, wow, I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. So I go right to my manager and I'm like, hey, I need training like ASAP. When can we schedule some coaching together? And then boom, I schedule some coaching with him. Hey, you're the best rep here. Can I like, mimic you or like not maybe can I like sit next to you all day and like watch you do your thing and learn from you? Yeah, that's fine. As long as the manager's cool with it. Yeah, great. And I just started taking actions inside of the words I said that this job will be fun, exciting. I'm going to learn, train development opportunity. And like no SHIT, I'm doing that now, by the way, to be responsible for my language. Within a week or two, I closed my first deal. I felt confident all of a sudden. I knew what I was doing. Now, did anything in the real world, like my circumstances, actually alter at my job when I declared this out loud? What do you guys and gals think? Like the job itself, the manager, the people, did any of that change at all when I declared this? And please participate. This goes a lot better.
Nope, nothing changed except for you.
Yeah, very good, Daniel. Yeah, literally nothing, right? The people were still the same. The office was exactly the same. Nothing changed. What did change was my relationship to the job, my occurring, my language about the job is the only thing that altered. And from there, I just started taking actions to like make that a reality, right? And that's really the hardest part because in what we're talking about here, right, you have to have integrity really with your words. If you speak mostly BS, then this will not work, right? Because you'll say X and you'll always do Y. But if you have integrity and you're like, hey, this is really important to me. I'm very serious about this, very interested in this. And I say, F this, like this sucks. I'm altering this today, how this occurs to me, whatever it is. Could be your marriage, right? It could be whatever you want, you know? That was Armin getting back to me. You could literally alter it in a conversation out loud. You could even go to your spouse and be like, hey, you know what, honey, whatever, like I'm changing the way X occurs to me, my kids, right? Literally anything you want. This works with everything. And starting today, I'm only going to be looking at it, hearing it, perspective about it like this. And then just do it. And then when I get to that job, literally, the job wasn't the same anymore. I was like, what can I do to make this a training development opportunity? Let's get training from my manager. Okay, what else can I do to make this fun? Oh, I can socialize more with my fellow agents. So I started to. What happens is a whole new world of actions now becomes available to you when you now relate to it differently. When you alter the occurring and you change, and how does this happen? You have to change the language. You have to change the words that you say is how the situation occurs. Literally out loud. You have to say it because it's linguistic in nature. And then start thinking that way too. And then all it is just taking actions to support whatever it is you said. Now, simple concept, yeah, it's harder application for sure. Okay, I'm done talking. Let's open this up. So what are you all hearing from this? What do you see in your own life? And by the way, like, I want you all, the best way to really get the training is look at your own life. Like, look at the stories you tell yourself about how your life is going, especially the one parts of your life that are not working, right? Like, what are you saying about it in language that you think is real? It's not, because they're made up, right? These words. So what are y'all hearing? Let's go. Let's get some sharing, please. All right, whenever you're ready, unmute and let's go. Let's make this real.
I can jump in.
David?
Yeah, I'm curious about how to help other people.
Go ahead, David.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no. I'm curious about how to support other people getting to the place where they want to change their language and like they're just super resistant to the idea, and how to not trigger the like, don't tell me what to think.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that is so brilliant. Seriously, thank you. Okay, well, I would say like law zero. I'm going to create a new law right now in this conversation, is that you or the person you're talking to, and David, thanks, seriously, that was brilliant. Great time to say that. They have to be open and willing to alter the occurring of their life and how their life goes, period. Period. If they're not even open to it, like they didn't ask for advice, they didn't ask for coaching, or you have no right or ground to tell them anything, you shouldn't be talking to them at all, period. You know, like for me, right? You got to get, I was very motivated, wasn't I? After that first month, whatever, being miserable at that job, I was then open. I was willing. I was like, I have to change this like now, very motivated. And so when I took this on, right, I made it happen. I made it work. Now, if you're in a sales call, I think it's what David was alluding to, right? And I'm talking to a client about, I don't know, like buying my product or service, whatever, right? You have to, this is why the first two calls are so important, right, David? I'm not sure if you heard them or not. If not, listen to them later. Is you have to find out what is their current occurring of everything, of their life, of the offer you have, of the opportunity, whatever, right? Because what you're really doing, this is kind of called the discovery phase in high ticket sales, right? Is you're figuring out, like, is this even appropriate for this person? Like, should I even be trying to close them at all? Like, is it even responsible of me to? Are they even in a position of life that this will work for them? Now, not everyone will think that way, right? Because some people are desperate for sales. They just want to close it. They don't care about people, right? There's a whole world here that exists we're talking about. But what I'm saying is that if you don't even know that stuff first, right? And you have no idea if they're open to an opportunity or open to change in life, whatever it is, if you don't know those things, so you can't tell by talking to them, you shouldn't then be coaching them. You shouldn't be telling them how to live their life and what to do, especially if they're like your partner, right? Trust me, I'm married. I don't do that crap. And whenever she does, I'm like, stop. I didn't request coaching. Thank you. Like we have that kind of relationship, my wife and I, because we're both in, training development programs together all the time, right? And you know how it is. People want to be helpful, right? And I'm sure a lot of people do it literally out of the goodness of their hearts, but it has to be appropriate, David. Okay, really. If you're not in a position where, and here's how you can make it appropriate, right? You could just ask permission. I do this all the time. Like, hey, David, do you mind if I give you some advice here to help you out? Do you mind if I offer you something? Permission. If they say yes, then great, go after it. But mostly, honestly, they'll say no, especially if they don't know you at all. They'll be like, no, thanks, it's okay. Okay, great, no worries. Like, move on. But the moment you now assert, infer, assume, dominate, manipulate them into you telling them how to live their life and blah, blah, and trying to actually force your occurring on their occurring, you're done. Like, they will now mentally check out of the conversation and you have no chance at all in hell to close this person if it's a sales call or anyone in life. So yeah, right? Is it responsible? Yeah, there you go, David. Yeah, dude, that's huge, man. Seriously, I use that. Like if you listen to my calls, I do that all the time. Like now they're different because I already have permission to their sales calls already. But in my actual life, Lily, because I do high performance coaching too, I'm like, look, before we start talking, do I have permission to coach you? I literally ask that exact phrase to people all the time. It's necessary and it's essential. Because remember, we're establishing a relationship. And I need permission to then tell them things that they might not like, right? Things that I think I know, I don't think I know will work for them. But if they're not open to it, what's the point? It's like talking to like, I'm trying to think of a really good like metaphor here. It's like talking to a brick wall, right? It's not open. There's no door in. They don't care. You might as well not even talk at all. Like one of the best lessons I ever learned in my life with this, seriously, is when I came to San Diego. Okay, I've been a pool player for years, like an 8-ball, 9-ball pool player for years, like for decades now. Actually, let me think. I started when I was, yeah, so 20 years I've been playing pool. Yeah, good job, Dave, right? And when I came to San Diego back in 2015, right, I used to play at a bar every night. And I don't drink, I don't smoke, I'm a very clean guy health-wise. But I would play pool every night. I was single, I had really nothing else in my life going on. I just got out of the military, the Marine Corps. I was like, what do I do? So I was playing pool for like days and weeks. I didn't talk to anyone there because I had a really hard time getting out, whatever. And after a month, I'm like, all right, I need to start talking to people because this is just, my life is like boring as hell. There's nothing going on. So I started talking to people, and all I knew to say really is like, hey man, like, can I help? Like, hey bro, if you just do this in pool, like you'll be as good as me in someday. Hey man, like you got to move your bridge over here. Like, because that's all I knew, right? I didn't know people. I couldn't socialize back then. I was very introverted, right? But I knew pool. So I'm like, do this. And what I realized everyone over time is that nothing changed in their game. Like their game was exactly the same weeks and months later. And I'm like, WTF, like, I don't get it. I just told you what to do months ago. Why didn't you do it? And finally, one person had the courage and bravery to go to confront me about it and say, because Alex, I didn't ask you for advice. And seriously, that was like life-changing insight for me. I was like, holy crap, you're right. Like it never even occurred to me that I was giving unsolicited advice to someone who didn't ask for it. And literally ever since that day, even my entire life now, literally, I don't give advice to anyone, really. I mean, obviously I'm a human being, so I slip up now and then, but mostly I don't. I'm just like, hey, can I offer you something? Can I give you some advice? Can I help you with something? Always. I'm reading the message real quick. Sorry, the chat. Yeah, very good, Chris. 100%, right? So this is why having like, so honestly, like when I'm, I think having a video is fantastic as like having a video is kind of like a pitch, right? Or like welcoming someone to your website. Like, hey, welcome to whatever, right? Chris Wotus, coaching services, kind of say a little bit about who you are, inspire the clients, right? The prospective clients as they're listening to you talk. This is like their first impression of you, right? And then you have like a funnel page. You could have like a Google form, type form questionnaire that's questioned in language in a way to see, as you said, Chris, are they open to what you do? Are they open to, I don't know, let's say you're selling, let's just make something up. Let's say you're selling like, I don't know, like real estate leads, right? For closing people on homes. I might say, hey, are you open to looking at a new process to acquire leads that may be different than what you're currently doing? Yes or no, right? So I'm asking questions to see, Chris, right? Are they open to altering their current? 100%. Great job, man. That was a really great thing that you said. 100%, right? Because some people will say, no, I'm not. I want to keep doing things my way. Great. Then we shouldn't work together is what I would say, because I'm going to give you a whole different occurring than what you're doing to elevate your results, to make you more effective. But you have to be open-minded to change what you're already doing. And honestly, a lot of people are not. That might surprise you, but I've been around a while. A lot of people don't because they're stuck in their ways. They love their ways. It's comfortable. They're used to it. They pay thousands of dollars for it. Tony Robbins, whatever. No, you're wrong. I'm like, okay, but let's look at your results because results never lie. How many people have you closed the last month? One person. Okay, is that like your average? Is that the industry high? No, industry is 10. Wow. So why are you deficient so much, right? Again, ask questions, get their occurring. They'll say blah, blah, blah. It's like, great, well, look, do you want to get to 10? Great. Then wouldn't you agree that we then have to shift what you're currently doing to something else because whatever you're doing is not getting you 10, right? Notice how I'm speaking in reality with numbers, measurable things, not like conceptual crap. Yeah, I do. Great. So look, I can get you there in 6 months or less, but it's going to require you to be open-minded to a new system, a new strategy. And I promise you, if you're coachable and you take it, We can get there together. Is that something you're willing to do? Like, that's how I would phrase it. Yes, great. Here, let me get you the agreement. Let's get started right now. Let's get everything signed. Or no, okay, well then I'm so sorry, Chris. I can't help you at all. I apologize. I can only work with people that are open to, changing their system and strategy, because, right, obviously, if you keep doing things your way, it's never going to work. And I promise results, and I can't promise a result with you. So I'm so sorry. Honestly, it was great talking to you. Have a great day, honestly and sincerely. Good luck in your business, and let me know how it goes. Okay. All right. Take care. Bye. Or, right, or hey, if it ever changes, like, let me know. Here's my number, right? Like, you always keep the leads warm. Okay, I'll stop there. So does that answer your question, Chris, or address a little more about it? And you could unmute yourself too, by the way.
Yeah, that totally did it. Yep.
Well, thanks, man. So, hey, what else are you all hearing? What are you hearing in this? And Chris, thanks a lot. That was great. David, also great things you guys mentioned. Daniel, Eric, Shirley, anything you're hearing that you could apply to your life or could impact you, or any questions? Like, please, this is your floor. Go ahead.
Yeah, I kind of ran into the same situation. So I started to implement what I've been learning in my own life and in my own work situation. And everybody agreed in my group that, we need to change what we're doing. Otherwise, we're going to keep running the same problems. And I had one person sign on. The other two people in my group, they got offended by me talking. So originally they signed on for what I was doing. But then when I started giving advice, they felt like they were being judged, even though I was talking openly and neutrally with language, but they still got offended like they were being judged. So then I had to back off.
Yeah, so one thing to be responsible for is everything you just said. Do you understand that's just your occurring of the conversation and not the actual conversation?
Yeah, absolutely. And I was like, well,
Right.
okay, I got to back off. And they didn't. So even though they agreed to with working with me for my vision, but they
Yeah.
didn't agree to be judged. So when I was talking, like they took it in a different way, and
Yeah.
then I had to back off.
Yeah. So look, let's just distinguish this, right? So look, Eric, you said what you said. And remember, you gotta take all the judgment out of it, bro. I know you have an occurring like it was neutral, whatever, but consider it wasn't, because you offended people, right? In reality, people were offended. They weren't attracted to that, and they told you, right?
Well, they told me with their body language, so that was enough. And I said I got to apologize. So I apologized to the one guy the next day, and the other
Okay.
guy called out, so I couldn't apologize to him.
Gotcha. Okay, great. Yeah. So all you have to do there, Eric, seriously, I mean, if I were you, just, if I could offer you anything, is just talk to them. But like, hey, like, be responsible. I'm so sorry. Did I say something that offended you, or did I say something that didn't work for you? And if so, I'm sorry. Can you tell me like what it was, or like what was there for you? I mean, that could be something that you could say, right? Potentially, that could have them get that you actually authentically care, right, about their experience with you, and you're interested in what's there for them. And, you're someone who's open to it. Maybe something you say.
Yeah, I'm kind of working out like the best accurate response that I can give, so they put them in context to understand that I'm not trying to judge them. I mean, I said that openly. I'm not trying to judge anybody. I'm just saying this is what works if you want to step up our performance and really start to change things. And
Yeah.
it's just really difficult. And knowing that, trying to do something good for all of us, and
Yeah.
then it ends up backfiring and I offend people, and they don't say it outright that I offended them, but I obviously have. So it's like,
Yeah.
and
It's
basically,
very good, man. Very good. Because sorry to interrupt you. Do you have anything else to say? Go ahead. Sorry.
just basically, I think they're really not willing to change. Like they want to change, but they're not
Yeah.
willing to actually change. I can't make them really want to change. The only thing I can do is be an example of what's possible. So then maybe in the future, they'll start to come to their own realization. Like you can't force people to change.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good. Right. And by the way, I don't know if you hear it or anyone else hears it, but Eric, there's a lot of judgment and assumptions and assertions and conclusions in when you speak. Do you notice that? Like you've already made up in your mind who these people are, what they're thinking based on body language, when in reality, they didn't say anything to you at all. Do you see that? It's very interesting, isn't it?
Yes, I get that, but I get
Yeah.
I'm piecing together by little other indicators that I get, but
Yeah, I get it. Hey, Eric, I get it, man. But I just want you to get right that did they explicitly tell you that, like out loud to your face?
no, but I got the message. Like when I was talking, I saw the body language change, and then I tried to clarify my position and say, "Look, I'm only saying this because I see potential in you, and like
Yeah.
I think if we make some changes, we can see some different
Yeah.
results and whatever, and like this is what works and whatever." And
Yeah.
I saw them back off, and I'm like, "All right, I can't talk to these people. I have to apologize," and I had to think about it overnight, but.
So, Eric, do you get that you didn't answer my question? You answered another question. What was my question? Do you remember?
Your original question was, do I realize that I sound judgmental? Is that
No,
correct?
that wasn't my question.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll say it again, no problem. So my question was, did they explicitly tell you these things, or did you just assert everything you just said about them?
They didn't say it specifically, no.
No. Did they say it at all? Like out loud? Like if I was there with you, I would hear them saying these things out loud to you.
Okay, well, specifically in the conversation that I spoke, and then I saw the body language change and their faces change, and the one guy said, "Well, it's tough being a single dad, blah blah blah." So like out of that response, I got that he felt like he was being judged, so he had to defend his position.
Well, what did he actually say though? This is really good. So he said, "I'm a single dad," and what else?
I'm a single dad. I was trying to explain how if you go to bed at the same time, you wake up at the same time every day, that you're going to feel much better.
Mhm.
And then that's all I said. And
Yeah.
then he said, "Well, I'm a single dad. I can't do that." Or I can't remember exactly what he said.
Okay, but what does that have to do with you?
Nothing except that he felt he was being judged, and I was the one who was talking.
No.
Felt that way.
No. He didn't say that. Actually, right? In reality, he said, "I'm a single dad," and I'm now paraphrasing because I wasn't there, and maybe
Right.
this won't work for me or whatever, right? Right? Because you were trying, right? You were coaching people on how to sleep, having sleep schedule, right, and the importance of that. And this guy said, "Hey, I'm a single dad," right? And you inferred, "Okay, I have kids,
It's,
whatever. It's not
yeah,
going
he
to work."
says not. He
Yeah,
says
right.
not easy.
Yeah, it's not perfect. Now, what I want to get right. So he said, "I'm a single dad. That's not easy." Great. What about what that just was uttered out loud has to say about you, or him, or judging him, or have him say anything about you at all? Like I'm just confused. Where'd you get that from? All he said was, "I'm a single dad and it's hard," or whatever. So where'd everything else come from? Who actually said all that? Because it wasn't him. Who was it?
I guess I was reacting to.
No. Listen, I have a minute left. Eric, who said all those things you just said? Because it wasn't him. Who said all them all? It was who?
Who said all the things I told you?
Yeah, because he didn't say it. He said, "I'm a single dad and it's hard." And then you said what about it? And trust me, man, I know this is tough, but who said all those things? If it wasn't him, then who had it be? Like, who was it?
I guess it was me.
Yeah, it was you. You made it all up. Dude, you made it all up, man. And look, there's nothing wrong with that because you're a human being. It's okay. We all do that stuff, right? Like you said, dude, and by the way, I can tell you're a very brilliant guy. You watch his body language, right? You're watching what he was saying. Okay, I have to go. But listen, this is great. Let's continue this next week, okay? If you guys want to continue the conversation, go ahead. But I have to go. But remember, you said it. He didn't. Okay, run with that. All right. All right, guys. See you later.
Sure.